it was Jim Rohn who said that we suffer one of two things: either the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And he goes on to say, choose discipline because discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. And the third thing that I had to change in my process of transformation was I had to change my habits. Some of the habits that I had accumulated over the times were, like I said, the negative things that I'd say about myself, the thought patterns that I would have that would keep me in a destructive cycle. And I had to change those things. And then there were some practical habits that I had to change. There were some I had to break and some I had to start. So I had to, one of the major habits that totally helped in my transformation was the habit of watching too much TV. I actually went on a path where it was one of my coaches that I heard challenge us to actually stop watching the telly, and just to see how much work we would get done if we didn't spend so much time watching TV. So I took up the challenge and I went on a 30-day no TV habit breaking challenge. And since that time, I've not gone back to watching TV. Every now and then I might watch a DVD or a program with the boys. But once I went on that path a few years ago, I found that it totally transformed my life. I actually wrote my book, Yes, You Can Turn Your Life Around, during that time of not watching TV, because I now had much more time on my hands, and I replaced that habit of not watching TV with reading a good book or with listening to a good personal development or empowerment CD, which again was attacking the other two things I did, was helping me to attack the other two things, because it helped to change my mindset and it helped me to change the things that I would say about myself. So changing a habit, I always say to people that the best way to change a habit is to replace it with something else, because we build up habits because of voids that we have in our lives, and not all habits are bad habits. We have some good habits, we have some bad habits, but changing a bad habit, the best way to do that is to replace it with something else. So giving you the example of the TV, when I changed that habit, I replaced it with reading more and listening to more. And then when I was changing the bad habit of speaking negative things about myself and my situation, I had to replace that with speaking positive things about myself and my situation. And the thing about habits is, what I had to do was write down a list of the bad habits that I had that would prevent me from doing and from being the best that I could. So, for example, a bad habit of being late, a bad habit of watching TV, like I said, bad habit of not paying enough attention to detail when working on an assignment or a project. These things would prevent me from actually being and giving my best. So when I actually listed them, these are my bad habits, these are what I need to work on, I then went about replacing those bad habits with more empowering ones. And like I said, I didn't do it all in one go, and I'm still working on a lot of the habits that even still prevent me from being the best that I can. But it was a matter of being conscious about, actually, these things are going to hinder me from being the best that I can be. Therefore, I need to change these things. In order to change them, I need to replace them with something much more empowering. Once I did that, again, I saw that my life began to turn around, and I began to get results in areas that I never dreamt of writing a book until my husband challenged me to write a book. And then because I had created a discipline of not watching TV but reading and listening to empowerment material, I found it within me the confidence and the courage to write a book. And since writing that book, I have been able to help so many other people to find their own confidence and courage to go on and do things that they never themselves dreamt that they could do. So changing my habits was the third thing that I did to turn my life around, and it has completely transformed my life. Well, the fourth thing that I did in my pursuit to turn my life around was I changed my friends. Now, this is going to be a hard one for a lot of people, and it was a very, very challenging one for me, because I am very passionate about my friendships and about my relationships. And once I have a good friend or someone that's really dear to me, I tend to hold on to them for dear life. But one of the things that I found in my journey and in my process of personal development and self-improvement was that you literally become like the people you hang around. You know, there's an old saying, my dad used to say it quite regularly to me: show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. And then, you know, in my research and my studies, I began to read and find out that you are going to sound like the people you hang around. Your bank balance will be similar to the people that you hang around. Your thought patterns will be like the people you hang around. And I found this very, very challenging because I loved the people that I hung around, but I realized that my circle of friends was not wide enough to allow me to grow into the space that I needed to grow into. So what I did was I began to attend seminars and workshops that would allow me to network with the kinds of people that I wanted to become in terms of growth and development. So I had to change my circle of friends, or should I say I had to enlarge and expand my circle of friends and my circle of influence, so that I was challenged to be better, to do better, so that I could eventually have more fulfillment in my life. And this was really challenging for me because, like I said, I hold on so dearly to friendships and people that mean a lot to me, and I find it not as easy as other people would, I guess, to make new friends and to just open up myself to new experiences. So this was something that I had to literally change about myself and about my personality, so that I could actually grow and become the person that I was destined to become. Because, like I said, with the analogy I used earlier on about the caterpillar becoming a butterfly, in that cocoon place, a lot of change is taking place. And from the outside, we don't know what's going on in the cocoon, but the creator, the one who created the caterpillar, knows exactly what's going on, knows exactly what the caterpillar needs in that place in order to become. So I knew that there was something that I needed in terms of influence and injection into my life in order to stretch me even further. So changing my friends and my circle of influence was a key factor in my life turnaround. I then had to glean from people who had been where I wanted to go. And I met some outstanding people during this process. One lady that has since come into my life and my family's life, that we met in the process, in this journey. Her name is Danny Johnson, and she completely transformed my way of thinking about so many areas of my life. But that would never have happened if I hadn't opened myself up to go to other places, seminars, workshops, conferences, where other like-minded people would be, so that they could influence and impact me in that way. So I have met many people like Danny who have spoken into my life over the years, especially over the past 5 years, who have totally shifted my mindset to a place where I now believe that I can do things that I never once believed that I could. And throughout the years, although the past 5 years have been a huge catalyst for me, prior to those 5 years, I've had amazing people in my life who have spoken into my life, who have shaped the person that I have become, who have helped to shape the person that I've become. And because of their vision and their passion, and because of their influence and impact on my life, and because I've allowed them into my life as a circle of friends and as a circle of influence, my life has been stretched and it has grown so many people. And it is something that has been, whilst it's been challenging for me, it has been absolutely crucial to the turnaround that I've experienced. Changing my friends, changing my circle of influence has immensely helped to change my life. The fifth thing that I had to change throughout this process of transformation and turnaround in my life were my choices. I had to deliberately and on purpose change the choices that I was making. Many people don't realize the personal power that they possess which will enable them to change the choices they make. And for me, I had to come to a place where I realized that I had the power to change the things that I thought about myself, the things that I was saying about myself. I had the power to change my habits. I had the power to change my friends and my circle of influence. I had the power to literally make choices that would change my entire life and totally transform my life. But that choice was mine, and I had to make the choice to change. And there are many people who have just decided to live a life of mediocrity and a life that I call average and middling, because they don't realize that they have the power to change that. And when I realized that actually the power to change is mine, but I have to make the choice to change, when I got that, and I didn't get that outside of the process that I've just described to you, but when I actually got it, I began to see my life completely differently, because I realized that my life didn't just have to happen. I could actually live a life by design as opposed to a life by default. So I started to make different choices. I began to change the negative choices that I was making and replace them with empowering choices, with choices that were inspiring, with choices that were engaging, with choices that were ultimately transformational. But I had to make that decision to change. I could listen to all the CDs, I could read all the books, I could go to all the seminars, I could go to all the conferences. But until I made the decision to change, until I made the choice to change, nothing would have changed. And I now literally spend my life and time sharing my journey and my story, because I believe that if I can change, if Karen Allen's life can be turned around, anyone's life can be turned around. But in order for your life to be turned around, it is not going to happen outside of you doing it on purpose and making a choice to do so. So can you turn your life around? My answer to that question, simple. Yes, you can. Can you live a life of passion on purpose? Simple answer. Yes, you can. Can you come out of the situation that you are facing right now that may seem so dark, that may seem so despondent, that may seem so depressing and discouraging? Can you come out of that and look back on it and say, wow, that situation made me the powerful, inspirational, empowering person that I am today? Can that happen for you? Yes, it can. Can you become the kind of person that uses your journey and your story to inspire and enable other people to get from where they are to where they need to be? Yes, you can. I believe that whatever you put your mind to, whatever things that you desire, whatever dreams you have, whatever goals you have, whatever thing that you looked at in your life and said, I would love to have that, I would love to be that, I would love to do that. I believe, because of my experience and my journey, that you can turn around any area of your life, whether it be your relationship, you as a parent, your business, your finances, your health, your mental well-being. Whatever area of your life seems dark right now or seems as though it is an insurmountable obstacle, I believe that if you apply even one of the principles that I've shared with you, just one, changing your mindset, changing the things that you say about your situation, changing your habits, changing your circle of influences, making different choices. If you apply just one, you can turn your life around at any time, because you have what it takes. So, until we meet or speak again, remember that you have what it takes to do what you love, be who you are, and have what you want.